Hey everybody, it's Michael Fair from FilmFestivalCircuit.com, and here we are talking about the Georgia Comedy Film Festival Summer 2024, our first event that will be happening at the landmark Midtown Theater in Atlanta. We are looking forward to it. We have an exciting lineup of films. We're also showcasing some screenwriters and their work, and we've had some funny stuff, and we are about to be joined here by a comedy short screenplay award winner, or excuse me, award finalist, hopefully a winner, but we don't know that yet.
Maybe.
But a comedy short screenplay award finalist, Sheila Schroeder. Hi, Sheila. How are you doing?
Michael, it's great to be with you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Well, this is awesome. It's good to have you on. Please tell us a little bit about your writing team and tell us a little bit about the synopsis. Basically, what is this screenplay about?
Yeah, so our entry, and by our, I mean David Painter and myself. David was a former student of mine at the University of Denver, has gone on to great things now. But he and I together wrote this short screenplay, Floriduh. That's Floriduh. It's a short about really about the state of things in Florida when it comes to some of the political maneuvers that the Republicans have done in the state. And just by way of synopsis, our synopsis is: after a humiliating incident makes Tallahassee College a laughingstock, a dysfunctional task force assembles to reimagine their mascot. So that's a little sneak peek, but really it is a film that is very critical of what's happening in Florida these days.
Well, you did a great job of using comedy, humor, interesting characters, good dialogue. The judges were impressed across the board of making your point. So what your deeper motivation, like why write this story? I mean, I guess you touched on it a little bit, but can you go any deeper on that? Why did you write this specific story?
Yeah, as a lesbian filmmaker who's written scripts, made films, doc, narrative, I always bring in some sort of issue that is important to me with those particular identities. And seeing what's happening across our country in terms of LGBTQ rights, in terms of states taking away rights from women, in terms of states squashing much needed diversity programs. It felt like the time was right to speak to some of those issues that were happening across the country, and to do it in a format that somewhat disguises, but endears, I think, those issues to our audience.
Now, I saw a picture of David and he has a camera in his hand. So I imagine, with your background and your experience in teaching and in production and his background in production, are there any plans to make this? Is it something you just want to sell off? Like what's your plan?
It's a very makeable film until you get to the final scene. And the final scene is very big, like gymnasium, school colors, that sort of thing. Most of the film is centered in kind of a conference room or the hall, because it is kind of a mockumentary style. I would love to make this film. I think it's an important film. I think it would reach a lot of people. It would reach what we call the choir, right? People who see things similar to us. But it also, I think, comedy helps to level the playing field and can appeal to people who might be a little less informed about some of these issues. So at this point, I think I think it probably could be made for $50,000, probably $50,000 to $100,000, just given that final scene. But if somebody would like to take this on, I'd love to produce or direct. But in writing it, it was really a catharsis in many ways. And sometimes you write a script and that's the end of it, and that's okay too.
Well, let's talk style here for a minute. You mentioned mockumentary. If there was, if you produce this final film and it was an appeal to a certain audience, is there an audience, maybe some other shows in similar style to this?
Yeah, I think in the film realm, it's very much in the realm of Best in Show, with a little more political edge. If you're thinking television, you're thinking of Parks and Rec, you're thinking of The Office, two of my all-time favorite shows. And I felt that this format, the mockumentary format, was really appropriate for this because we really get to know the characters. I think even in a short screenplay, I think this is 15 pages. We wanted to keep it sort of right at that level. There's a lot of character development, and you really get to know who these characters are and really what they represent.
Well, other than this project, do you have anything else on deck, maybe that you're working on?
Yes, I am working with collaborators from across the country on a series, season 2 of the series Womanhood. So season 1, Womanhood, was made up of 3 short films, really focused on the awkward, embarrassing, awesome issues that we face as women. Season 2 then is taking on the topic of equity in STEM. So imagine comedy films about equity in STEM. It's a bit of a mountain to climb, but we feel very confident that bringing in 7 women who work in STEM fields, bringing in 5 filmmakers. We have a workshop set for August. We're going to be writing the films in collaboration during that workshop, and then those of us who are on the filmmaking side will be taking those scripts and making those at our different institutions all across the country. So the whole idea of using comedy is to break down some of the barriers that some people might have around issues of equity. So oftentimes we take a really serious look at those sorts of issues, and I think that comedy helps us create conversation, change behavior, and really kind of come together on issues that can be pretty important, and sometimes it can rub people the wrong way. And I think, again, comedy helps us to get those points across in ways that break down barriers.
Sure. Well, this has been a pleasure speaking with you, but just in case we left anything else out, is there anything you'd like to add at all?
Well, I tell you what, there aren't a ton of venues for short comedy films, and so I really want to thank the festival for welcoming us in, for having a really diverse panel of people who are reading our work, who are making those selections. I've been in a lot of film festivals, but I think you guys do an absolutely fantastic job. So thank you, to all of the people who have contributed to bringing Floriduh to life.
All right. Well, hey, I appreciate that. I appreciate the kind words.
Absolutely.
And I hope that we do get to see the cinematic version of this at some point. Is there any way, anything you'd like me to add in the description, or any way that if people wanted to contact you on Instagram or Twitter or anything like that, any contact information that you can provide?
Yeah, they can find me at Schroeder on Twitter. I think I'm Sheila E. Schroeder on Instagram. I should know that. But my email at the University of Denver is just simply sheila.schroeder@du.edu, which is probably the best way to get a hold of me. I'd welcome any inquiries about the screenplay. And again, total shout out to David Painter, who really came on to the project, and I just had a blast writing with him, a former student. He's making waves. Like I said, he's a director, cinematographer here in the Denver area who I really expect big things out of.
All right, good stuff. Well, I will update the YouTube description so that people can get your contact information right after we go off of this. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. Good luck. You've got a highly rated screenplay just on the film festival circuit in general. I know that you're going to get lots of award finalists and award win opportunities. So best of luck to you at the event.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.